Hi, everybody, and hi to people on Facebook land. I'm here to give you a little talk, so thanks, everyone. Thanks, Susan, for thinking of me and Unity of Calgary for the opportunity to speak to you today during this month of health. So my topic today is about food, so appropriate song for Have the Garden, and in particular, it's about the Holy Four food groups, which contain within them whole, complete consciousness. But first, a little bit about me. I'm a mother of 2, grandmother of 5, and one of 15 siblings. That's the bare bones basics. Say no more. I decided to become an RMT, about 26 years ago, and that was during my change of life and my awakening moments. And for 23 of those years, I ran my own clinic in Dawson Creek, BC. I called it Northern Lights Massage Therapy because you see the Northern Lights there all the time. And then I moved here to Calgary about 3 years ago, I think it was, maybe it's 4. And now my business is known as Create Dynamic Health. The types of hands-on work I do cover neurostructural integration technique, which is advanced bone therapy. I do craniosacral manual lymph drainage, and I love the Feldenkrais method of somatic education, which is really all about moving through your bones and really learning that your toes do connect to your head. But my favorite modalities are the ones that have to do with energy medicine, like the body code and emotion code. I love understanding how the physical body receives all of the information that it does, not only from the world around us, the epigenetics of understanding, but also from the higher consciousness of the universe and the cosmos. I love knowing about the aura, the mental and the emotional bodies, the etheric body, the chakras and the meridians especially, and how they all connect into the nervous system and into every cell of our bodies. I love knowing about thoughts being electric in nature and emotions being magnetic, and how they activate the structures of the brain and how they can either energize us or immobilize us. I love knowing about the many ways we take in information, including through our food, which leads me into today's topic, whole complete consciousness in the Holy Four. The Holy Four are fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices, and wild foods. The spirit of compassion knows we need to get reacquainted in a new way with these foods in order for us to be able to heal ourselves of the many autoimmune and chronic illnesses that are piling up every year. And it's possibly going to get worse in the years to come, so let's get ahead of the game. The spirit of compassion is Anthony William, the medical medium's constant companion. He's been speaking into Anthony's right ear since the age of 4, and is here to let us know that it is our divine right as human beings to derive comfort from the food we eat, as well as the right nutrition for our health. He knows all about the problems we have faced in the past, what we are facing now, and will face in the future when it comes to all the toxins our bodies have to deal with, these soul vehicles that we tend to treat unkindly a lot of the time. I'm pretty sure that the spirit of compassion knows how stuck we've become in counting calories, wanting to know exactly how much of what nutrients are in our food, are we getting enough fats, carbohydrates, proteins, are we getting too much, too little, let alone how to heal from chronic illnesses. The book, Life-Changing Foods, is his gift to the world, and Anthony is his messenger. So why do I say there's whole, complete consciousness in the Holy Four? Because anything grown in the ground encapsulates the consciousness of the air, the water, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the cosmos. Every fruit, vegetable, herb and spice, and wild food is put here by Spirit to support you, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. It's time to look at food a little differently. Whenever people would come to me asking for help with their health issues, and they started doing it when I wasn't prepared for it, I had to learn the emotion code first, got that book and healed myself with that, and then the body code was just a corner, the emotion code stuff is just a little corner of the body code. And people started asking me, when I started doing the emotion code work, they started asking me about their health issues, which was, okay, got time to learn the body code, so I got certified in that real quick. So whenever they would come asking me for help, inevitably a dietary change was needed. And for this, I used the body code and would dive into what I called the Book of You. Still call it the Book of You. Consistently using muscle testings, we would end up in 3 categories: the emotions, the pathogens, and the nutrition. And when it came to the nutrition, none of them liked to hear that eggs, dairy, and gluten were not their friends. Even pork had to leave, but I was let off the hook for what came up, as it was their own subconscious mind that was telling them this, not me. Their common complaint was, well, there goes my breakfast, now what do I eat? So, to which I would reply, anything that grows in the soil above it or below it. That's a good place to start. And if they looked confused, I'd recommend to them the Life-Changing Foods book, which quickly became the bestseller at our local health food store. I let the spirit of compassion do the heavy lifting to help them overcome their blocks to change and their beliefs around food, and to show them the emotional support and the spiritual lessons each and every food has to offer. The Holy Four Foods can offer you a feeling of in-the-moment comfort and grounding, and they can heal you in ways you never thought possible. Feeding yourself isn't just something you have to do to stay alive. When you bring in the Holy Four, it becomes a part of enlightenment. Nothing beats taking the miracle of the mysterious forces that take a seed into a fruit into your body. There are fruits that prime us to find our true friends, vegetables that give us hope when we are grieving, herbs and spices that help us cultivate self-worth, and wild foods that make good memories stick. These properties become a part of us when we ingest them. We can reach for these different healing foods in our different times of needs. All plants have a consciousness and can communicate with us and exchange information. If we walk around in our gardens in our bare feet, the soil can pick up the types of toxins we are carrying and the nutrients we are deficient in. If we talk to our plants, they grow bigger and stronger, and if we sing to them, they produce even more. So think about singing to your garden when you plant it. When we harvest them, if we'd take a little time to let them know what we're going to do, they will make sure that all the nutrients we need in that moment are multiplied. Plants are here to serve us, and they do it willingly, so it behooves us to honor them. Did you know that there are 2 types of water in every plant? Every one of the Holy Four has a special kind of water that has 2 components that sit side by side. One is it's called hydrobioactive water, a living water, that type of water that replenishes our bloodstream and cells and keeps us going. The other type is known as cofactor water, which contains information through the phytochemicals, trace minerals, mineral salts, and enzymes that help restore your soul and support your emotions. Now you know why it's a good thing to add fruits and veggies to your water. It actually creates structured water. Keeping your soul alive is as important as keeping your heart pumping. It's vital that we understand this. So what kind of emotional support and spiritual lessons do common foods we eat have to offer? Let's look at a couple of foods from each of these Holy Four food groups that we commonly eat every day. So let's start with fruits and lemons, because lemon water is pretty basic for everyone. So emotionally, lemons or limes are ideal soothers for whenever you get upset by difficult news. They can lift your spirits and lighten your heart. And spiritually, their lesson is that to remember that lemon trees have thorns and only want the most deserving and careful people to harvest their fruit, and only slowly over time, which means that it takes mindful attention and appreciation to gather each fruit so that you don't get poked. The same is true of human relationships. Like the thorns on the trees, we set up a layer of protection if we have someone in our life who constantly takes without appreciation. What we really want is fruitful relationships of mutual respect, admiration, and symbiosis with those around us. And sometimes it takes a little poke to remind us to take care with each other. And we all love apples, so let's see what apples have to offer. Emotionally, apples comfort us and connect us to a sense of sanctuary. They bring back your sense of vibrancy, elevate you, lighten your heart, and make you more energetic. Their spiritual lesson is to remember that apples continue to ripen during the cooler months and are protected by their frost-resistant skin. So apples teach us not to get burned by the frost of insensitivity from others. Remember to put a protective shield around yourself until that changes, but keep on ripening. And bananas. We all love bananas, or most of us do. So emotionally, bananas strengthen the core of who we are, encouraging us to peel back our false shields and expose our true selves. They help us express a true desire to be productive, overcoming procrastination and other unproductive behaviors in the process. Their spiritual lesson is to remember at times of spiritual growth, we might find ourselves feeling indestructible and completely absorbed in the moment and not prepared for an unforeseen challenge. Be like the banana plant and send your roots deep and wide with continually surfacing suckers ready to grow. Let every lesson learned become a spiritual offshoot that may someday rescue you. Now let's move on to the vegetables. And I only chose 2 here. And I chose celery simply because celery juice is so important for gut health. Emotionally, celery has a calming effect when we are feeling frightened, panicky, shocked, fretful, nervous, threatened, unsure, afraid, or defensive. As we feel this in our guts, use celery juice, especially celery juice, to calm these and restore the entire digestive system. Spiritually, the lesson here is that celery, in particular celery juice, teaches us to embrace a balance of the simple and the complex, the push and pull that happens in all areas of our life. Celery juice in and of itself is simple. It's one ingredient. While what it can do for the body is complex. The lesson here is where do you notice when there's a simple solution for a complex situation? And let's go to leafy greens. Salads are really important for us. So emotionally, leafy greens help flush out physical toxins. They loosen up stored toxic emotions and guide them out of our life, helping us to become clean and clear again, which is our natural state of being. Spiritually, because of their short shelf life, they teach us not to miss windows of opportunity and to seize the moments that nourish us. Next, we'll move on to herbs and spices. We all cook with the aromatic herbs of oregano, rosemary, sage, and thyme at one point or another. So emotionally, if you find yourselves in cycles of overreacting or feeling consistently overstimulated, use these herbs to break the cycle and get back to an even keel. Spiritually, these herbs that have been around since the beginning of mankind help us to continually adapt. They remind us of who we are and who we can become. And let's look at ginger as well. We love ginger to help clear our bellies. Emotionally, ginger is ideal when you're feeling you are being silenced and that if you spoke up, it would make the situation worse. So whenever you are feeling stifled and locked up, even to the point of developing a spasm, consuming some ginger will release all that tension. The spiritual lesson here is that we don't always have to have an insight, breakthrough, or solution in order to let go of what's not helping us. We don't have to react or process everything. We can let ginger, with its antispasmodic properties, work that magic on the soul level, cleansing us of wounds and damage without us having to do anything other than let it. Now the wild foods. I'm only choosing 2 here. One is raw honey. Emotionally, raw honey's stickiness signals to us that when we experience something that's good, something that lifts us up and feeds our soul, that memory sticks to us, overriding negative experiences that can interfere with that joy. Spiritually, honey is written into our lineage, into our souls and DNA. So never avoid it, as it keeps us in touch with ourselves. And now for the most important of all the holy 4, wild blueberries. Wild blueberries hold ancient and sacred survival information from the heavens going back thousands of years. They have adapted to every fluctuation in climate over the millennia and will continue to do so. There's over 100 variable strains that look similar but have different genetic makeups. So these plants can never be eradicated, no matter what comes in the future. Wild blueberries are the #1 adaptogen. They have the most antioxidants of any food on the planet. When you eat these, their innate intelligence reads your body, searches out potential disease, monitors your stress and toxicity levels, and figures out the best way to heal you. They are the sole food on the planet to contain the full power of the divine, and they are revered by the angels as the key to keeping the human race alive in the coming times. They are above all, the resurrection food. Wild blueberries inspire us. They strengthen the very fabric of who we are. If you've struggled with feeling criticized, unappreciated, discredited, mistreated, or neglected, this is the healing food for you. Spiritually, anytime you've gone through a situation that's leveled you, wild blueberries understand what you've been through. They will help you rise up again, stronger and healthier than ever before, and triumph over all adversity. When you are striving for anything, when you want to have a life of bounty and blessings, turn to the wild blueberry and watch the magic happen. But if you'd like to explore more about these foods, you will really have to get this book. Earlier I spoke of how if you grow your own food, you can communicate your needs to the plants to your benefit. But what about when you buy your food in a grocery store, which we all have to at this time of year? The easiest way to make the food most beneficial for you then is to simply hold it for a little while before putting it away. It'll take you a little longer to put your groceries away, but you'll take care of all the stuff you need. What it'll do is take away all the information that's picked up from everyone and everything that touched it before you, and is replaced by the information that comes through your hands and through your attention, that it's now here to serve you. So now that we have a little better understanding of the Holy Four and all that they have to offer, let's do a short meditation and get to feel them energetically. We'll let him get it. And just want you to sit back. We're going to take a walk through a garden that contains the Holy Four. So I want you to sit back, close your eyes, plant your feet on the floor. Take a couple breaths, deep, deep breaths in and out to center yourself. And in a moment, you're going to go for a walk, a barefoot walk. So take off, imagine you taking off your shoes and socks. Wiggle your toes on the moss path. Then I want you to stand and begin walking along a moss-covered pathway that's in front of you and leads to your garden. Ahead is an archway that defines the edges of your garden. You pass under it and are now in the presence of the Holy Four that you planted. Every seed you placed in the ground, every tree that you transplanted, knows who you are and what you need in order to maintain your health. Every seed planted here contains within itself the information of the universe. They have within all the information from the cosmos, the sun, the moon, the wind, the rain, and the soil. Through your bare feet and the toxins released through them, these Holy Four plants will deliver to you exactly what you need to rebalance. Begin sauntering through your garden. And as you saunter around, you notice all kinds of vegetables interspersed with healthy herbs. There's asparagus, celery, broccoli, cauliflower, leafy greens of all kinds, radishes, onions, potatoes, and even sweet potatoes. There's beans, cucumbers, tomatoes, and anything else you enjoy. A delight to the eye and a comfort to the emotions. You can smell the fragrance of the herbs, the rosemary, thyme, oregano, and sage, cilantro and parsley and basil too. You see garlic, ginger and turmeric, lemon balm and licorice root. Just breathe it all in. Notice how vibrant everything is, how healthy the plants are, how bountiful. Notice how you feel as you observe the opulence around you, the energy that's flowing from the plants to you and from you to the plants. There's bees buzzing around, and you see hives in the distance and know that honey is being made for your sustenance. As you wander along, you notice a variety of fruit plants: watermelons, melons, cantaloupes, pineapples, strawberries growing on the ground, luscious fruit for the taking and always and endless supply. Beyond these are fruit trees that are laden with every kind of fruit that you can imagine: apples, oranges, apricots, pears, cherries, grapes, lemons and limes. There's even bananas, mangoes, avocados, figs, kiwis, and dates. Notice how strong the trees are and how big the fruit is. As you move out of the fruit trees, you enter a wild area where the wild food grows. You see wild raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, aloe vera plants. Even the bright yellow of dandelions are everywhere, as is the pink-red clover flowers. You can smell the wild roses and know that rose hips will be available in the fall to serve you through the winter. You see chaga growing on the trees around the edges. And mysteriously, you see a piece of ocean where the sea vegetables reside. You may notice other food growing in this wild area. It's your garden. So now turn around and sweep your gaze over the entire garden and notice and appreciate what you see. Take a big breath in and breathe it all in, knowing that all of these plants are here to serve you. They are here to support you physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and do it so willingly and lovingly. Now turn around once more, and ahead is another archway, delineating the furthest reach of your garden. Pass through it, and you are magically back in your seat. Take another big breath in and out, remembering your garden and all its gifts. Now open your eyes and return yourself to this room. Welcome to the Holy Four. Thank you.